Chris Brown versus Migos, Quavo and Offset, how the beef escalated after Takeoff's death. The tension between Chris Brown and members of Migos, specifically Quavo and Offset, became one of hip-hop's most controversial rivalries in recent years, especially following the tragic death of Takeoff in 2022. What began as long-standing personal issues reignited into a highly charged conflict that crossed lines many felt should never be touched. Background: a long-standing tension. Chris Brown and Quavo had friction well before Takeoff's passing, reportedly tied to personal disputes and industry drama dating back years. While nothing consistently spilled into music at first, the animosity lingered in the background, resurfacing through subliminals, online jabs, and industry whispers. Post-Takeoff escalation. After Takeoff was fatally shot in Houston, emotions ran high across hip-hop. The loss deeply affected Quavo, who publicly mourned his nephew and collaborator. In 2024, however, the dormant feud exploded when Chris Brown released a diss track aimed squarely at Quavo. The record shocked fans, not only for its aggression, but for lines that referenced Takeoff's death. Many listeners viewed this as a serious violation of an unwritten code in rap culture, leaving the deceased out of beef. Public backlash and Quavo's response. The backlash was swift. Fans, artists, and commentators criticized Brown for invoking Takeoff, calling it disrespectful and unnecessary. Quavo responded musically, addressing the diss while honoring Takeoff's legacy and using his voice posthumously in a powerful moment that reframed the conflict around grief, loyalty, and family. Where Offset fits in. Although Offset was not the primary target, he was indirectly pulled into the situation by association. Importantly, Offset and Quavo had already been repairing their own relationship following Takeoff's death, publicly emphasizing unity and family. Offset did not engage directly in the diss exchange, choosing instead to keep the focus on healing rather than escalating the feud. Not a full Migos versus Chris Brown war. Despite headlines framing it as Chris Brown versus Migos, the conflict was largely Brown versus Quavo. With Migos no longer active as a trio and Takeoff gone, the group dynamic had fundamentally changed. Offset's distance from the back and forth reinforced that this was a personal dispute rather than a full crew-based war. Cultural impact. This beef highlighted how modern rap rivalries are fueled by social media, fan reactions, and viral moments as much as music itself. It also sparked broader conversations about respect, grief, and the ethical boundaries of diss culture. For many fans, referencing Takeoff's death marked a point where competition crossed into insensitivity. Current status. As of now, the feud has cooled publicly, though tensions remain unresolved. Both artists have continued releasing music and focusing on their careers, while fans still debate who crossed the line and whether the beef should ever have reached that level. Conclusion. The Chris Brown-Quavo conflict stands as a cautionary tale in modern hip-hop, a reminder that while beef has long been part of the culture, some moments demand restraint. In the shadow of Takeoff's death, the rivalry became less about lyrical dominance and more about respect, loss, and how far is too far.